has been moving really fast recently, and it's going into this new stage where we're talking about how AI is going to be used within the future of bringing medical services to people, and the frameworks that they have to build to make that happen. So the Health Tech Advisory Board that he's set up contains some really interesting people who are really, they are exactly the type of people who you'd want on a board like that. They're scientists, they're technologists, some of them are what are called tech evangelists, who they look for the next thing that is going to be big in technology and create companies to go and make that technology to an extent. So there's a lot of really interesting people on this Health Tech Advisory Board. And then there's the two people who have been appointed who I think are very big money people. Junkerman being one, or have come in through the route of money. Badal being one person who's a very famous, he's famous if you're in India. He's give me just one sec. Manoj Badal, that's his name. He's the founder of, or co-founder of Blenheim Chalcott, and he's a digital venture builder. So he's the type of guy who goes and makes tech for people who require a certain thing. So he's understandable why he would be in there. David McGann, who's the Vice President of Innovation at Imperial College London, he's in there. That makes sense. There's been a couple of appointments, obviously for political reasons. Matthew Hancock MP, the guy I'm talking about, is obviously a politician. He's a Conservative Party politician. He's not my cup of tea. He's very far from being my cup of tea personally. But he has made a couple of appointments in there which are obviously political people who are within the same party as him. But then there's Nicole Junkerman and the gentleman that is the head of Oaken, which is one of her companies. And basically the problem here is that these people are creating this framework. This framework doesn't currently exist. The technological framework in Britain for something like this, having been medical around the world, doesn't actually exist. We don't have any way to interface AI with medical problems and etc. So a lot of these people are going to be trying to work out these problems. So it's a route in to being involved at the ground level on NHS, in the NHS, in a change of the NHS that's really could be described as a revolution.
Well, this is terrifying and very discouraging, too. I just had Amy Villela on the show, who's here for Medicaid for All, fighting for Medicaid for All here in the U.S., and I felt so encouraged when I got off the phone with her. But, it's really discouraging to think that, no, it's going in the opposite direction. They want to privatize over there as well, too, with this new technology you're discussing. We got to take a commercial break.
Go on.
I'm sorry. We got to take a commercial break. Johnny Vedmore, man, great stuff. JohnnyVedmore.com. That's JOHNNY, Vedmore, VEDMORE.com. Vocal Media is his music where he writes. And Wanna Die is his record you can pick up. We'll be right back with more of Johnny Vedmore talking about this Junkerman woman, Nicole Junkerman. I haven't heard that name mentioned by anyone. So we'll be right back with more of Johnny Vedmore right after these messages. And now a word from our sponsors. AlmightyGold.com. Get your gold in affordable quantities. 1 gram, 2.5 grams, 5 grams, no minimum purchase required. Why save in paper when you can save in gold? AlmightyGold.com understands it's difficult to afford gold in large quantities. No one can afford an ounce of gold. This is why Almighty Gold has introduced to you Carat Bars, a most reliable company where you can buy gold in minor quantities from as little as 1/10 of a gram. That's like $6. Each gold bar is inset into the Carat Bar frame, which is a standard credit card size, and it's covered by a safety laminate. It's imprinted with a unique DNA for counterfeit protection and provided with a blacklight authenticity signature on the front. Gold, AlmightyGold.com. They have a cryptocurrency backed in gold, and you can become an affiliate at AlmightyGold.com and make a commission from any gold that is purchased from your affiliate link. It's contact us at almightygold.com. That's their email address. Contact us at almightygold.com. Gold! Have you ever thought about opening your own mobile cart or kiosk business? Maybe add new point-of-sale locations across the country quickly, or bring in revenue by adding coffee, food, or retail services to your office building, warehouse, or lobby? CartKing.com is the answer to your needs. CartKing.com is a North American designer and manufacturer of the finest mobile retail, coffee, food carts, and kiosks that money can buy. For 20 years, CartKing.com has been working with clients across America to provide indoor and outdoor carts and kiosks for any application. That's www.cart-king.com. Give them a call at 877-986-7771. Tell them Ed Opperman sent you. So you go to the website, CartKing.com, you check out their different designs and models. You pick out which design applies to your business. They'll custom design it for you, custom build it for you, and ship it worldwide. CartKing.com. PureSoapFlakes.com. 218-568-2525. Have you ever heard of Castile Soap? Pure Soap Flake Company handcrafts fine soap bars, laundry powder, and concentrated soap flakes using organic vegetable oils from their northern Minnesota facility. Bathe your body and wash your clothes with pure soap products that are free of fragrance, GMOs, palm oil, sodium lauryl sulfate, and synthetic additives. Keep it clean, folks. Pure Soap Flake Company products are kind to living creatures and sensitive skin, safe for drains and waterways, and work great in high-efficiency washers and top and front-loading machines. Order today at puresoapflakes.com, greenhome.com, amazon.com, or give them a call, 218-568-2525, 218-568-2525. Pure Soap Flake Company is a proud member of the Handcrafted Soap and Cosmetic Guild.
It's the Opperman Report. And now, here is investigator Ed Opperman.
Okay, welcome back to the Opperman Report. We're here today with Johnny Vedmore, johnnyvedmore.com. His new record out is called Wanna Die. You could find it on vedmore.com, by the way. So, Johnny, it seems also, too, that there's a connection between, who is that again? Baruch?
Nicole Junkerman and...
Yeah, Baruch is right. He was been on Epstein's as well.
He has been on the plane. It wasn't information that I found, but I'd heard about his link and connections from other people. But I was really frustrated this one, so I kind of I called all of the other Epstein suspects and associates, and kind of went off and looked at this separately. So when I came back and saw his name again, that was a surprise. A name from a different route, because, well, Nicole Junkerman, in about 2011, she had sold off In-Front Sport to Bridgepoint, I think they were. They're a company over in one of them consortiums who buy out big companies. And she started investing in small apps and tech firms. Now, this is what a lot of rich people started doing in this time. So she was buying up apps that a lot of people have used, as Guru and Grio and things like that. She was in one of the tech app sort of things he buys was rated especially for it was first called 40. Reporting Homeland Security, and it was, and the idea they had was, we have an app that will allow anybody to stream any information to the emergency services about the emergency that they've called for. So someone could go to this app when they have an emergency service, and instead of phoning 999, they go to the app, and then they send all of the details, including video footage, their location and stuff, to the emergency responders who were then on their way. So it's like a different way of reporting, but it allows this company to become in the middle of people calling like emergency services, fire, police, ambulances, etc., and the actual emergency service themselves, which sounds a bit bizarre to us because they try and claim it's like the next thing that's going to be happening is that they can then use all of the data surrounding, even data from parked cars, wearable tech, people who are passing by. They can use that data with their special technology. They don't even really need to have a phone connection. It can find it other ways. It can pinpoint your location within 3 feet and etc. They've now called Carbine 911, and the director, one of the directors of the company is Nicole Junkerman, and one of the other directors is, of course, or the chairman of the company is Ehud Barak, who was, of course, a prime minister of Israel, one of the most open, when he was in the IDF, he was the most open representation of covert operations for Israel. He was like the most overtly, you could see the most overt covert operator. He led loads of operations that basically disassembled Black September, who were a Palestinian group who I think they were involved in the kidnapping of the Israeli Olympic athletes, right. And some other things. He's got such a history in military intelligence. It goes back a long way, and of course, to be linked in the same company with Ehud Barak, you've got to be a serious person. Carbine seems like a very serious company, and the other people who are in Carbine are just incredible. They're all ex-Israeli military. They're people like Amir Elachal, who's the founder and CEO. He worked in the army for years. Alex Dizengoff, who worked in more protecting the Israeli Prime Minister's office from cyber attacks. Pinchas Bukris, who he was the former deputy commander of the IDF operations, and he was the former commander of the IDF 8200 cyber intelligence unit, which was, of course, Israel's cyber intelligence unit.
Johnny, let me interrupt you to clarify. You're saying that this company, Carbine, right, which has this woman Junkerman and also has Ehud Barak on the board, and a bunch of Israelis, Israeli spies, Israelis, IDF guys, but they want to produce this technology in the UK that will take your cell phone and will capture every single device around you.
They're not aiming at the UK. They're aiming at everywhere, but they're starting off in the US.
In the US.
They've already got it going on in some countries, they claim. But then when you go and look at the recruits they've recently got involved in the company, it starts to get really obvious that they are aiming at the US. They recently, when I say recently, it was like within the past year, I believe, had a man called Elliot Tawil become a board member. Now, he's described as Elliot's gaining strategic understanding in New York's 5 boroughs. And they've really got him on board to aim at a release of this technology within New York. Start of trying to make it get between all big data. Did you hear of a company called Amdocs?
Yes, of course I did. Let me tell you, I'm a digital forensic investigator. I do cell phone forensics. And I can tell you, if you and Amdocs was the Israeli company that had all the phone bills. But the thing is, I can tell you this. That is possible. Everything you're describing is technologically possible. You can attach all these things to your phone. And I've been talking about this in the future, saying, hey, you can reserve a parking spot. It's going to arrive to that spot on the street. They're going to have it all linked together, and they will. But when they have that, and okay, you get sick and you hit a button, you don't have to hit that button, guys. They're going to have all the information before you hit the button. They can hit the button, and they're going to capture you, man. There's no doubt in my mind about that. But what were you going to say about Amdocs?
That could be said about things like simple things in the new Internet of the Internet of Things, as they call it. Things like Alexa and stuff, where there's been used to actually to transcription from people's private conversations in their homes and being used as court evidence, is an example of how they can get just a few people at first, and then more and more people agree in the room, come recording them. That is it doesn't seem possible to us before it happens, but once they've managed to sell it to us in a way that seems sensible, and this is like, oh, instead of just calling 999 before, like when you used to call a taxi and you used to wait for ages and then taxi didn't turn up and you'd phone a taxi cab company, right. And they say it's round the corner, it's only going to be 5 minutes, and then it's not 5 minutes, you go phone them again, etc., etc. Well, now we got Uber, we can watch where the taxi